finally here. Now, Ben has been living here for many years and she's never been to this place. We're in Beykoz. It's a...
2 April opened.
Oh, okay, it opened on the 2nd of April. Wow, this place is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Wow. It's a glass museum. And we're not allowed to film inside, but wow, look at the grounds. Take a look at this. This place is, I'm actually speechless. This place is amazing. They just told me to go and park the car. They're going to go and have a look at the peacock, but I'll go back and film that later. But let's go before I block this road. Wow, this place is amazing, absolutely amazing. Very nice. There's quite a few buildings on this site too. Anyway, I'm so glad that you're all here. If you like our channel, please subscribe. There will be more videos like this. I feel like I'm in heaven. This is, wow, this is so nice. Even the grass is so nicely laid out. So there's quite a few places to go and visit. Parking, a mosque, toilet facilities, restaurants, car park. Looks like a barbecue area or a place to sit and have lunch. Wow. I have two options, walk along the road or take the path. I might take the path. I feel like I'm in another country. I really do. To me, if someone showed me this picture, I would have thought maybe Switzerland or Germany. But now it's here in Turkey. I could easily stay here all day. I'm going to tell Benno that I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. I want to stay here. This is absolutely beautiful. I keep saying that. I'm repeating myself over and over again, but all it's missing is some cows. It's like I'm in a film set, but it's real. This place is actually making me very homesick. I feel like I'm back home in New Zealand. Write in the comments box below what you think of this place. Shukazal. Yeah. Harika.
Harika bir yer ya. Berna nerede? Berna orada.
Oh, okay.
Ha, orada.
Orada. Teşekkürler. When you find something that looks really good, you don't want to tell anyone about it, because when you do, it then gets overpopulated with people and it just looks messy, you know. And he loves them. Now I found this. It shows you a very clear outlay view of the surroundings. It's one thing I don't have is a drone, but you get the idea. Now there's a story, a beautiful story about this place that goes back to the Ottoman Empire times. This building is very historical. It goes back to the 18th century, so it's very old, and they've converted it into a museum, a glass museum. But we're not allowed to film inside. There is plenty of security around. So, and that must be the restaurant over there. Very unusual plant over there. We have these in New Zealand, the same plants. I thought someone had raked up the leaves from the tree, but no, that's actually a plant. I wish we could film inside, but unfortunately we're not allowed to. But if I can get any pictures, I'll add them in there if I can. Beautiful piece. Now, this method of fusing glass was developed in Egypt 5,000 years ago. And this piece that you're looking now is hanging on the wall, was created back in 1812. Wow. I hope they got it secured on the wall. It's a long way to fall. It's a beautiful piece. '18th century. Incredible. Glass never loses its colour, doesn't fade at all. This was made a long time ago. The Sultans developed the swirl in the glass. Some very beautiful pieces in here. What you see over there, the lampshades, everything in that museum is handmade, everything. This is a museum that is being made just for glass. To actually see this for the first time was mind-blowing. Now, I've been to a lot of glass museums. Now, going to a glass factory or a glass studio is different, because those are pieces that they're making. But this is a glass museum of pieces that go back thousands of years. Pieces that you can no longer make anymore. Now, I found out that this used to be a stable where they kept animals, and they beautifully converted this into a glass museum. It was originally built in the 18th century. So I managed to get this brochure. It's got a layout of the inside of it. I'm just going to tell you what was inside. Now, glass was been around for a long time. The Syrians had it, the Romans, Egyptians, you name it. But the sultans, they mastered it. They played around with it and they understood it. They knew what they could do with it. They manufactured glass because they were all through Europe, the empire. They could send glass all through Europe. There were so many different products you can make from glass. You're talking about LED lights and drinking glasses and crystal and mirror and bowls, you name it. There's so much you can do with glass. At the beginning of the museum is the entrance, the security part. They'll give you a translation pod which will convert the displays in any language. So it doesn't matter if you don't speak Turkish. It will translate your language, so then you'll be able to understand the displays as you walk through. Number 2 is when they really understood glass, the sultans, and it showed you the kilns that they used, wood firing kilns and so on. Make it into glass rods for glass blowing, for casting, and so on. And it was very, very interesting. Now in here are very rare pieces. There may be a set of bowls that were made for an important sultan, but there was only one left. So these pieces that were in here were very rare, and pieces that they found that maybe in a fire and there was only one left, or maybe there was an earthquake and they found one piece in there. But there were some incredible pieces of work in there I've never seen before. The artwork, the handcrafted artwork, were hand painted, they were slumped, there were glass blown pieces, you know, but they used every technique you can imagine to make a certain piece, and they were beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I would love to go back and see the pieces from in here, but unfortunately we weren't allowed to photo any of the stuff in here. Now in here was the development of flat glass. In fact, the glass was so thin, there's no way of them knowing how they made it by hand. There was these round circular pieces as well, where the glass was thick and then it goes to thin. Now this technique is lost. They don't know how they made these pieces. But the LED lights that were in this room, the light reflected through the LED lights, and then the picture of the LED light would be cast onto the floor here. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This is a very, very nice display in there. The kitchen was very cool. They had these beautiful jugs. Here's an example of one here. Made from glass, where they stored water or wine or whatever. So there were a lot of products made from glass that was quite useful in the kitchen. So they had a display of some of the products in here, as well as in here. And this part were ink pads or crystal blocks where you would have ink. So in those days we'd have a feather and we'd write, and you dip your whatever into the ink, your fountain pen into the ink, and the ink would be stored in a glass crystal box. They were all displayed in here. And I don't know what was in this area here, but it could have been fountains or more glassware, crystal glassware. Here's a piece that the Sultans developed. It's got circular patterns. Very famous piece. Oh, here's one of the oldest pieces they found from glass. Very old. Like I said, it was a number 3, one of a kinds. Very old piece. I think that may be 5,000 or 6,000 years old, but they found it. And here were vases. These were massive, going 2 meters high, hand painted pieces. Incredible. The sort of stuff you see in a museum. In fact, this is a museum, and they're all displayed all the way around. There was probably 100 massive bowls in here. Fountain area. Beautiful pieces, sculptures made from glass and glass crystals for your garden. And here's a fountain right there. If you can see that, I see. Blow it up. This part was the table, silverware next to your glass bowls and jugs, and all around the edge were displays of pieces that were sent to famous people around the world, all made from glass. There was a glass chariot in here with mirror, beveled mirror, and more chandeliers all through here. So there's so much you could do with glass. It was incredible. This part here is the restaurant. I didn't realise there's a library here as well. Beautiful unique flowers.